Hi everyone and welcome to our session today. So today we're going to be starting laying down. So if you want to bring yourself onto the mat, if you want to bend your knees if that's comfortable for you, you can drop them together or keep them apart, it's up to you. Make some adjustments with the back, make sure you're nice and snug into the mat, just allowing the body to relax. Let's take a big deep inhale here. And big exhale through the mouth. And again. Just finding that flow of the breath now. So just gently start to lengthen the breath. And keeping your eyes closed, I'm just going to talk us through a little bit of Kumbhaka breath or our breath retention. So in a moment we're going to inhale for the count of 6. Hold for 8, exhale for 6, and then hold for 4. We're going to do that a few times, our count is 3. So that's in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. 5, 6, 7, 8, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. In and hold. Out and hold. In, hold, out, and hold. 2 more times. In, hold, and out, and hold. 1 more time. In, hold, and out, and hold. Take a big inhale, out through the mouth, settling back into the breath. So equal inhale, equal exhale. So gently now drawing the knees into the chest. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. We're going to keep hold of the right shin, extend out through the left leg. It's a nice long stretch from knee to toe. Coming into a supine twist now, so taking hold of that knee with the left hand, taking it over to the left, and then stretching the right arm out. So you want to keep your shoulders to the floor here. Bringing ourselves back to centre, drawing both knees in. So we want to make a bit of a 90-degree angle with our legs here now. So we want the shins and calves parallel with the ground, 90-degree hinge in the hips and in the knees. We're going to bring our arms out, cactus arms, so take a bend in the elbow. And then with control, we're going to take both knees over towards the right, finding that twist through the centre. Keeping again the shoulders on the mat. Lifting them back up, Keeping hold of that angle with the legs, and then over to the other side. Bringing ourselves back to centre, taking hold of both knees, nice big squeeze again. We're just going to do that on the other side. So keeping hold of the left shin, we're going to extend out through the right leg. And finding that supine twist on this side now. So taking hold of that right knee, taking hold of the knee and taking it over to the right and extending out through the left arm. Again, remembering we want to keep shoulders flat on the ground here. Bringing ourselves back to centre, making that angle again with our legs, arms lifted up. We're going to move ourselves over to the right again, taking both knees over, lifting up, and then over to the other side. Lifting back to centre, drawing the knees in. And let's gently roll ourselves all the way up to seated. Taking our hands into prayer lift. And coming into a side stretch here, so left hand onto right knee, right hand behind, lift. Taking that twist back. Remember to avoid slouching through the spine. Bringing ourselves back to centre again, inhale. And over to the other side. So we're going to do that twist one more time each side. You may be able to find that you can go a little bit further around by taking the hand further. So through centre. And over to the right. And through centre. Other side. Again, just take your hand further round if you find you've got that extra twist. Coming back to centre, hands to prayer. And bringing ourselves on to our hands and knees. Getting ready just for a few rounds of cat-cow. So getting sturdy in your tabletop here. Inhale, head up, tailbone up. Exhale, curling round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sucking that belly button in, doming through the shoulder blades. One more round. Inhale into our cow. Making sure we're not crushing forward with the shoulders lifting the chest, not bending the elbows. And then curling into our cat. And coming back to neutral. So hooking the toes, we're going to sit ourselves back onto our heels. So just a reminder, if this hurts too much, then please just come onto the top of the feet. Or just throughout what we're going to do next, you can just take a little break by bringing yourself forward and then settling yourself back down again. So we're going to warm up our wrists from here. Taking the arms out in front of us, making some gentle fists. We're going to curl a few times around one way and the other. Swapping sides again. And back round. Swapping. And last time, swap the other way. Take the hands out in front of you, pressing through the heels of the hands, curling the fingertips back. And pressing down, fingertips towards you. And making big star shapes with the fingertips. We're going to find our way into downward dog now. So taking the hands to the ground, hooking the toes, and let's take a little walk with those legs now. Moving them. May want to work the ankles a little bit more as well in the toes. Taking a little twist to the sides perhaps. And then when you're ready, gently settling yourself into that static pose. So finding our form, fingertips spread wide. Rolling the shoulders outwards to avoid curling them up towards the ears. Bend the knees if we need to. If you find you're rolling yourself forward, all the weight's in your wrists, gently take a bend in the knee. You want your ears to be in line with your biceps roughly. Lifting up through the tailbone. And start to feel the back of your body inflate with the breath. So we're going to lift the right hand off of the ground. We're going to try and grab hold now of the outer edge of this left leg. So we're going to aim for the ankle, but if that's not happening, then just take your hand further up the leg until you can grab hold. So once you've got hold, you're going to take a little twist through the body and take your head and your gaze underneath your armpit. And release. We're going to bend the knees a little bit. Just draw yourself down to the ground. It's like a little bit of a squat. Lifting ourselves back up again. We're going to swap over to the other side. So lifting the left arm, grabbing hold of the outer side of the right leg this time. Once you've found hold along the length of the leg, again taking your gaze underneath the armpit. And releasing, finding way back into downward facing dog. And let's gently walk our feet to the front of the mat. A little ragdoll here, holding the elbows. Little sway from side to side. So almost making a little figure of 8 with our arms. And gently bringing ourselves all the way up, taking our hands into prayer over our heads. Taking a little stretch over to the right. So you want to keep the bicep over the ear. Lifting up through centre, over to the other side. Lifting through centre. We're going to find a gentle back bend here. So taking the hips forward, gently take the chest back. And then supporting the lower spine with our hands, taking a little bit deeper of this space. So hips forward, chest up, rolling ourselves back. And back to centre we go, bringing ourselves into mountain, hands down by our sides. Let's take a breath together. And exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold, bend if we need. Inhale, lifting up halfway. We're going to exhale, we're going to step back with the right foot, hook the toes. And we're going to lift up, windmill our arms round, right hand back and left one forward. So a bit like a warrior 2, but instead of having that back leg flat to the ground, we're hooking the toes. So if it feels okay here, you might want to take the gaze behind you. So we're going to swap over the side of this twist now. So inhale, bring both arms centering together, and then taking the left one behind as the right one forward, twisting over the body this time. Inhale, lifting both arms again. Exhale, hands come down, stepping back into downward facing dog. Adjusting the feet, finding the breath. We're going to walk our hands back to the mat. Take hold of the shins, so hands on the shin, lifting up halfway. Extend through the back of the leg, pulling the heart forward. And then taking hold of the back of the legs wherever feels okay. We're going to gently draw ourselves into the legs into a forward fold. So try and hollow the belly, connect the ribs to the thighs as you draw yourself in. Another breath. Inhale, lift. Walking the hands back to our downward facing dog. Walking the feet forward. We're going to inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, back up to stand. We're going to come into those little side bends again now. So taking the arms over to the right, stretching out through the left side of the body. Through centre and over to the other side. Through centre, gentle back bend. And then taking hold of that lower spine, taking a little bit deeper, hips forward, chest up. Back to neutral, arms down by our side. We're going to do that on the other side. Let's take a breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. So this time we're going to step back with the left leg and then take the left arm behind us as well. So stepping back with the left, almost windmilling our arms up and round. And again, a bit like warrior two, but we've got that back foot hooked. Inhale, bring the arms to centre and taking the twist to the other side. So the right hand behind, left one forward. The gaze is either forward or behind you, just depending on how we're feeling with our balance. Inhale, lift through centre. And exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Taking that length back in the breath. If you found that it started to become shallow, really enjoying that expansion of the back. We're going to walk our hands back now to the back of the mat, and again taking hold of the shins, lifting up halfway. Taking hold of the back of the legs. It could be the heels you're holding on to. It could be further around the thighs. Whatever works for you. Just really find that extension through the body. You want to try and drape ourselves along the length of the legs. Drawing yourself in. Inhale, lifting. We're going to release the hands and move ourselves back into a downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Walking the feet forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, back into those side bends. Taking ourselves over to the right. Through centre. Over to the left, through centre, gentle back bend to start, and then taking hold of the spine where we can take it deeper while supporting ourselves. Back to centre, hands by our side, and let's move into our next pose. So this is a bit of a standing balance pose now. So I'm going to turn myself around so you can see. We're going to root down the left leg and we're going to lift up the right. You want to grab hold of the shin with both of the hands. You want to lift it up and then towards you. So use furniture if we can't quite find our balance here. We're going to try and take this a step further, but if you want to stay here, then please do. We're going to keep hold that right knee with the left hand, so opposite hand to knee, and that right hand is going to come behind us. So your gaze can either be forward, or if the balance is feeling pretty good, we can gently work it round step by step. Again, there's no rush, and then taking the gaze behind. Bringing our gaze to centre, hand back in, releasing the knee, hands down by our side. Take a breath. And exhale. Other side. Root the right. lift the left. So we're going to hold on with our shin to begin. So again, we're either staying here or we're going to find the twist. So opposite hand to knee. So we're taking our right hand onto the knee and then the left hand comes behind as if that feels okay. And again, find your balance first. Don't try and do all of this at the same time. So again, it's either forward or working round, working round, working round until the gaze is behind us. Keeping that knee squeezed in. And through centre, both hands in. Dropping the feet down, hands by our side, take a breath. And exhale. Bringing the feet now about hip distance apart. We're going to work our way into a couple of forward folds. So hands onto the hips. Inhale, find some extension. Exhale, halfway down. So we're going to grab hold of those big toes with our first two fingers, palms facing towards each other. Remember, bend the knees if we can't quite get there otherwise. So we're going to inhale to start with. We're going to take some extension. So extend the spine, extend the back of the legs. We're going to bend those elbows outwards and draw ourselves now in to the legs. So your weight is ever so slightly forward into the balls of your feet. Dive into the breath. Inhale, we're going to lift up halfway. So if that felt enough, you're going to do the same one again. If you want to take it deeper, then the hands come underneath the feet. Again, it's okay if you have to bend your knees a little bit. So before we come into the forward fold this time, we're going to stretch out our back a little bit. So we're going to press the feet into the hands and we're going to pull up with the back. So you should feel a stretch across the top of the shoulder blades. So pressing into the ground, pulling up through the arms, pulling up through the back. So we're like opposing forces. And gently just releasing out of that, and we're going to take ourselves into the forward fold. So lifting and extending, and then bending the elbows, drawing ourselves in. We're going to inhale, lift. We're going to release the hands from underneath our feet and take hold of our shin again and find that full extension now. So extend out through the spine, extend up through the back of the legs. And let's move into our downward facing dog. So taking your hands onto the ground, stepping yourself back, finding the breath. So we're going to find our way into Warrior One now. We're going to take the left foot out 45 degrees. Right one comes to the front of the mat. Let's rise ourselves in. So make sure the hips are forward, that back leg strong and straight. The gaze slightly upwards. Holding the core strong. So try and avoid the ribs flaring up and out. Pulling, hold the core. Let's find our way into Warrior Two. So inhale, straighten, the hips are out, arms come down. And settle in with that front knee. So just take a little peek what the knee's doing. You want to avoid it falling in or falling out. So knee tracking over the ankle the best that you can, pressing out through the fingertips here. We're going to inhale, straighten. We're going to take this back foot out a little bit more. Arms back by our side. Inhale. We're going to come into a deeper lunge now. So really sink down with that front. We're going to bring the forearm onto the thigh, lift up and over with the left arm over the ear. So if those of you used to this pose and you feel you can take it deeper, then feel free to take the hand next to the big toe. But please don't compromise the form. We want everything stacked again over that front leg. core engaged. And a couple of breaths. Taking the gaze down, releasing the hands, bringing those down as well, and dropping the back knee. So we're going to do the revolve version of this pose now. So we're going to take the knee over towards the left, hands into prayer, and then go over to the right. So this top part of the arm is going to hook over the thigh. You want to stack the elbows, hands pressed together. So this balance now becomes a little bit tricky. You can either stay here, or if you want to hook the back toes and extend the back leg, then we can do that. Another breath. Releasing the knee. Lifting our arms up and to centre and extending the arms down, taking the weight a little bit further forward into a low lunge. Hands frame the front foot. We're going to draw the feet together. Forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Hands down by our side. So bringing our feet again, about hip distance apart, hands onto the hips. Inhale, lifting up, extending, exhale, halfway down. We're going to hook those big toes again with our first two fingers. So we're going to come back into those two forward folds. Inhale, find the extension. Elbows bend outwards, drawing yourself in. So you might think you can get a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, lifting up halfway. So if you want to, we're taking it deeper now by taking the hands underneath the feet. We're going to come into that back stretch again. So pressing into the ground and pulling up with the back. So the arms extend. Another breath or two here. And then release, and let's find this full extension now. So taking our gaze slightly forward and hollowing the belly and drawing ourselves into the leg, into this forward fold. Inhale, lifting up. We're going to release the hands, take them onto the shin and take that extension a little bit further. Pulling the shoulders back from the ears. And then taking the hands to the ground, stepping back to our downward facing dog. So we're going to do that little sequence on the other side now. We're going to take the right foot out 45 and left one comes forward, warrior one to begin. Let's move ourselves into warrior two. So inhale, straighten, change where the hips are directing, and then we drop ourselves down back into that front knee. Pressing the energy through the fingertips, make sure the shoulders are dropped away from the ears. Inhale, straighten, coming into our extended side angle now. So that back leg comes back a little bit more. Inhale here. And exhale, deep lunge. Bring the forearm onto the thigh, the right arm up and over the ear. So remember, if you want to take the hand down next to the big toe instead, then please do feel free. A few more breaths here. Gaze down to the ground, framing the front foot, Dropping the knee. Coming into the revolve version now on this side. So the knee over to the right, hands to prayer, take them over to the left, hook the arm over. So we're stacking the elbows, palms pressed together. We can either stay here because this can be tricky enough to balance, or we can hook the toes and lift up through the back leg. Another breath. Dropping the knee, bringing ourselves up through centre and sinking ourselves in to a nice deep low lunge. Inhale, exhale, hands down, draw our feet together at the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, hands down, by side. Let's take a breath together, inhale, exhale. Coming into chair pose now, so make sure your feet and your thighs are together. When it comes down, we're going to take the arms straight up. So remember, if you just take a little peek down, you should better see your toes. Another breath or two here. Hold strong. So we're going to inhale, straighten and bring that right knee up with us. We're going to step back into a crescent lunge, so we're going to hook the right toes in a second, and we're going to bring the arms in line with the back leg. So we can bring the arms back, we're going to hook the back toes, pressing back through the fingertips and pulling the heart forward. We're going to move ourselves into triangle pose now. So we're going to inhale, straighten everything up, drop the back foot, arms come out by your side. So your heels want to be roughly aligned here and make sure we're nice and strong through the core. Inhale. Someone's grabbed hold of that front hand, you're pulling forward, hand comes down to the leg. Pulling the core strong, taking our gaze up through the right fingertips. Gaze down. Inhale, bringing ourselves all the way back up. We're going to hook the toes and sink ourselves back in to a crescent lunge. So hook the back toes, lunge back with the front leg, arms are lifted. Taking the arms in line with the back leg again, pulling our heart forward. And in a second, we're going to try and bring ourselves to where we began this little sequence. We're going to come to a stand, but lift the right leg up with us. So please feel free to take as many steps as you need to do this, but now weight all the way forward, lifting up through the right knee, pressing up through the fingertips. Feet down by your side, and rest. Taking a breath. Let's do that on the other side. So, chair pose first. Feet together, thighs together, boom down, arms up. So let's inhale, we're going to rise and we're going to take the left knee up with us. Coming into that crescent lunge now with the arms in line with the back leg. So stepping back, pressing the heart forward. Triangle stance. Inhale, lift. Dropping the back foot, arms come out. Inhale, exhale, forward. Coming in to our triangle. So make sure ribs are in, core is in, everything stacked over that front leg. So you gaze is either forward or taking your gaze up to the sky. Avoid sort of resting into this leg. You want to pull it with the energy. Gaze comes down, lifting ourselves up, hooking the back toes and coming in then to a crescent lunge. Hands in line with the back legs, press the heart forward again. Just preparing ourselves to come back to that stand position in a moment. So all the weight forward, lifting up with the left knee. Feet together, hands down by your side. Let's take a breath. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, we're going to step or jump ourselves back into our plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, ready for chaturanga. Remember, drop the knees if you're still building the strength. Inhale at the top. Exhale, bending the elbows, keeping them close to the body as you draw yourself down with control. And then inhale, lifting up. Thighs on the floor in our cobra, or taking the thighs off of the ground into upward facing dog. And then working our way into downward dog, pulling up from the hips. Adjusting the feet, finding our form again. Another breath. And bringing yourself down to seated, taking the legs out in front of you. So we're going to take ourselves into a forward fold. Use a strap if you've got one handy, but don't worry if you don't. We're going to lift up through the arms. We're going to take our hands over the top of the feet if you can. Lifting up, extend, and then pulling yourself over the length of the legs. So remember, strap or fingertips by the sides. Lifting up. So we want to avoid this here. So I'm curling here through my spine, as you can see, trying to creep forward. You want to lift. Okay, so lift the heart up, pull the heart up and forward, and then you travel forward with the fingertips from here. All the movement should be coming from here. So imagine you've got a broom down the back of your t-shirt or something, and that's stopping us from doing that. So we need to just move this way. So this is the way the broom's going to take us. And inhale, lifting ourselves up. We're going to bring the right foot now as close to our bum as we can, and right next to the thigh as well. We're going to take the knee over to the left. I'm rightly going to give that leg a bit of a hook, or we're going to try and hook over with the elbow. So if you have hooked with the elbow, you really need to sort of draw your body through here. And then taking that hand behind, we lift the spine and take the gaze back. So drawing that knee over to the other side. Make sure that left leg is still active. And release. We're going to extend the legs and lift up with the arms. Extend the legs, extend the body, extend the arms. Drawing ourselves back down. Coming into seated pigeon now. So we're going to bring that left foot flat on the ground, and the right ankle is just going to go over the knee. So flex the foot. So instead of just letting it hang there, we're flexing, we're pressing through the ball of the foot. That knee is moving away. We're on our fingertips. So you decide now, how do I feel? Do I want to take this deeper or not? This could be enough. Find a nice strong stretch through the side here. But if you want to take it deeper, the bum towards the heels, hands towards the bum, but keep the spine long. This doesn't work with this pose. So lift, foot still flexed, knee moves away and chest moves towards the shin. So some of you may want to take it or need to take it a little bit deeper to find that stretch. Another couple of breaths. And then just gently take the hands behind you, and we're going to come into reverse tabletop, keeping this leg where it is if you can. If it's too much, then we're going to release the feet onto the mat. So lifting up through the hips, keeping the knee move away from you if you can, and taking the neck back if that feels okay. If not, chin to the chest. Another breath. And releasing, coming down. We're going to unhook that foot now and bring it on the inside of the thigh. I'm ready for our forward fold. So make sure it's inside the thigh, not on top or underneath. Keeping that left leg active. We're going to inhale, lift it through the arms and over the leg we go. So if you have got a hold of the foot, the left back of the hand comes onto the sole. We reach round with the right, extending yourself over. If not, again, we're on the fingertips or we're grabbing hold of our strap, drawing ourselves in from there. A few more breaths. And inhale, gently lifting it from here, extending the legs out. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. So we're going to come into another sort of deep forward fold from here. So keeping the legs extended, inhale, lift, taking our hands again over the feet if we can. If not, straps. If not, fingertips either side of the legs. Take a moment just to pop that broom on our backs again. And then drawing ourselves in from here. Another couple of moments. Inhale, lift all the way up through the fingertips, taking a stretch. And then we're going to bring ourselves onto seated pigeon on this side. So we're going to place the right foot onto the ground, hook that left ankle over the knee. So starting off by finding your form, extending the spine, flexing the foot, knee pressing away. Remember, it's going to feel different from one side to the other. We either stay here or we take it deeper, bum to the heel. Hands towards the bum, lifting the chest and pulling that towards the shin. Few more breaths. And let's try reverse tabletop now. You can always unhook the feet if this is too much. So taking the hands behind you, flat on the ground, and when you're ready, hips move up. So the knee is still pressing down, I'm still flexing my foot. Hips lifted, chin to chest, or taking your neck back, whatever feels better. And gently finding our way onto the ground and hooking that foot. So the right leg extends now and that left one's going to come inside of the thigh. Moving into that forward fold again. So inhale, lift, extend over the legs. If you've got hold, the right back of the hand comes onto the sole. We reach round with the left. Finding again that nice long length through the spine, drawing ourselves along the leg. And gently release. Inhale, extending both legs out, lift. Hands down, by side. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together now. We're going to take our hands inside of the legs, take them out where the shins are, and grab hold of the top of the feet if you can. If not, grab hold of the ankles. Take a moment just to sort of get yourself settled. And then start to pull forward with the chest. Gently guide the knees down, pulling forward, pulling forward. We want to get our chin sort of in the cup of that foot in front of you. So we're not curling to get our head onto the mat, we're pulling forward. A few more moments. And gently uncurling from here. We're going to bring ourselves onto the mat now. We're going to come back to what we did at the beginning. We're going to do a little bit of breath retention before we complete our practice. So bend the knees if that feels comfy. Taking the knees either together or separate. Just adjust yourself as you need to feel comfortable for the next few moments. So we're going to take a nice big inhale and out through the mouth. And again. Exhale. And I'm going to count us through a few rounds of that breath retention. So we're going to in for 6, hold for 8, out for 6, hold for 4. So let's in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. And out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. Let's in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold. A couple more times in. And hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. And hold. Take a big inhale. Out through the mouth. And let's gently guide yourself into Shavasana that works for you. So you may want to stay in that same position. You may want to make a little bit of adjustment. Make sure those shoulders are nice and flat with the ground. Take a moment just to take a release through the jaw. Find some softness throughout the body. Let's take another inhale. Big exhale. And let's gently find the natural rhythm of your breath again. Staying here in Shavasana for as long as your body needs today.